Okay, what's going on there, YouTube? This is Cecile0320 representing JVS. I'm back here again for another review for The Flash. This is the 12th episode, I believe. And the name of this one is Honey, I Shrunk the Teen Flash. So, we get to see Bill Goldberg. He's back again in this episode. The cellmate close to Barry, able to save him. They saved each other. But in this episode, we kind of get a backstory about kind of who he is. I actually really liked how it actually started off. I thought it was really funny. I gotta say this. I guess this is totally off topic. The beginning of this season, I thought was so just all happy and good and like no consequences at all, that I was kind of like, this is not what I want in a Flash. Now that like I have Barry Allen literally in prison, literally in lockup, and like enjoying prison food, like enjoying playing cards, but the consequence is still there. Like he's not with his wife, he's not with his team, he can't be a hero. He has to relent to his teammates doing everything that he's supposed to be able to really do. And at the same time, DeVoe has this inner plan that they have no idea or comprehension of what's going on. And I love it. I love this. I love this. Like if you had told me at the beginning of the season, like that this is what this is going to be, I wouldn't believe it, because I was so close to being done. I know I said this last week, but I mean it. I legit mean it. Anyway, so this dope scene where Flash was like cheating, counting the cards, getting the cards where they needed to be, and then kind of putting, you know, a deck of cards for Goldberg's character. And Goldberg did a really good job in this episode, because you really get to see kind of how he got in there, how he got set up. And then you get this villain by the name of Dwarf Star. And you don't know that Dwarf Star is connected to Bill Goldberg's character in how he even ended up there. And they go into like social injustice in the sense that Bill Goldberg, like they just, because of the look, he fit the profile, he went in, you know, like it's funny, being an African American male, like not only is that a statistic, but that is like documented like over years worth of time, that this is something that can easily happen at any given time. It's just that they were able to put it in this one in a very specific kind of way, to the point where like they got Dwarf Star apprehended, he wouldn't admit to it, so it didn't even matter no matter what they did. And it was kind of just like, dang. And it forced Barry to do something that he wouldn't normally do. And that's the thing, that the very end of this episode, I know I haven't covered everything, but the end of the episode with the warden, with Barry, and then who's connected to that, I was just like, dang. I couldn't believe it. I legit was like, what is happening right now? But I love it. I love the suspense of the not knowing. It really is turning this season around for me. So I thought this was a really strong episode because of that. Then you got the Cecile situation, where Cecile, I was thinking, well, maybe the kid's a metahuman, but that doesn't make sense because Joe's not a metahuman. Then I was thinking, like, well, what is it, you know? And then basically Caitlin was like, well, she might have been exposed to dark matter. This is residual cells. After the second pregnancy kind of came out, which leads me to believe that if Iris gets pregnant, this is kind of just a foreshadowing of what's going to happen to her if she gets pregnant. And yeah, I think that that's definitely going to be the case for Iris as well. So I think this is just kind of giving us like different moments of time. But like DeVoe, what is the main thing with him? In this episode, Harry was really able to kind of shine out, because you really get to see him dealing with his inadequacies and not knowing how to stop DeVoe, not being able to help Barry, and not really even being able to help the team. And it's like this guy, the Dwarf Star guy, his powers were really interesting, because it forced the show to get on the kind of level of like, not just Legends of Tomorrow, but kind of like Ant-Man, because of the way that he's able to actually use and shift certain objects. And I think this was actually a pretty well done, like practical and CG effect episode, in the sense of a villain. Normally they just splurge out CG everywhere, and then you got the elongated man doing something, Barry doing something, but they were able to kind of keep Cisco and the elongated man so small most of the episode, as well as kind of like dealing with the consequences of them working to try to fight, and like everything being supersized. So I thought he did a really good job with the CG and the visual effects and the practical effects of this episode. But it was also like, man, like It was a good episode. I thought it was a really good episode. I give this episode actually a 9.5 out of 10. And it actually had a really interestingly good and satisfying ending, where it wasn't like, okay, everything is great now. Like, no, there's a consequences to the actions that Barry Allen still does. And you still have no idea how this connects to DeVoe. I am hoping and praying that whatever DeVoe's plan is, that joint is lit. Like, I want it to just hit the nail. Like, if his plan just kind of just lays flat, you know, they figure it out. Yeah, they get the inhibitor dampener or whatever that, you know, they talked about in season 3 to stop DeVoe. Great. But I want his plan to at least, you know, affect the situation in a way that's like, dang. That way you leave the season on a satisfying note. There's a consequence. And it didn't have to be a casualty. It's just a real consequence of the situation. So, but yeah, it was a good episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. I did mention in my reaction that I will be moving forward, setting a schedule for reactions. So instead of me kind of doing like Flash, like a full reaction, and then with Black Lightning doing like a more filtered reaction where it's like close to, you know, 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to try to do everything like I used to do before, like, you know, 10 to 15 minutes or a little bit longer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to revamp the way I'm doing the Patreon. So anybody that is a supporter of the Patreon, what I'm going to do is give you the whole entire reaction for these shows that I'm doing the reactions for. So instantaneously now, automatically, once I do these reactions, I'm going to automatically do the full reaction, put it up on Google Drives, and have it preset for people that are specifically supporting Team JVS through the Patreon. And I'm going to be starting that probably next week. I need to position the schedule because I need to get ready for The Walking Dead and some other stuff that might be coming up. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and reaction. I'll talk to you guys later on. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't going to stop. Have a blessed one. Peace, guys.